I am fairly certain that the weather on the East Coast is wreaking havoc on technology. So we're going to get through this show one way or to other, but it will be Ryan, Glenn, and I, and 3 Point Sniper will be joining us in the live chat. So make sure that if you have any questions, you get in there and you fire away. We've got a pretty good show. We might have a little surprise at the end for you in terms of show announcements. But yeah, Ryan is here. I'm here. Glenn will be along momentarily. Let's get into it. Whoa, gotta take the banner down. How's it? What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Loose Cannons. Is it Wednesday or Thursday? It is Thursday, right?
Yes, it is. It is definitely Thursday.
Good, because I named the show Thirsty Thursday, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, it's Wednesday. Whew. Anyway, yeah, welcome along to another show. We are experiencing technical difficulties on the ends of Jackson, 3 Point Sniper, and Glenn is having his own technical difficulties. Although I question if there are really technical difficulties on Glenn's end. I'm wondering if it's not just he smoked so much he turned on the microwave and forgot who he was for half an hour. I don't know. Anyway, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. I know there's not much to talk about, but I'm excited to keep the blood flowing or keep myself fresh, because
Yeah.
soon enough the season will start, and the weeks leading up we'll have more of a concrete idea of a show, and things will be a lot smoother.
I mean, it's just so weird to me that, like, I didn't expect to hear much during the international competitions with the Euros and the Copa America. Like, transfer rumor wise, I didn't think we'd hear much, but even now, like almost a week later, and we're still like nothing. Like the Calafiori rumors are like they're gone. I saw one thing the other night. Teams can't agree on a valuation for him because, excuse me, I guess Arsenal, or this is what I read, take it with a grain of salt. I only saw one thing. This is not a multiple source confirmation by any stretch of the imagination. They're trying to include Jakob Kiwior in the deal. And is it Bologna? Where's he coming out? Where's he from?
Yeah, I call him Bologna, but Bologna.
They don't want Jakob Kiwior, and therefore the deal is being hung up. So I guess we're trying to, include that. So I will say that as far as rumors are concerned, we're hearing more about sales than incomings. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. I guess it's the one thing that we said last week. We're awful at it. We're just absolute. We're great at tanking players' values, and then not great at selling them. So, Jackson kit dropped today. The away kit. What do you think? You like it?
I didn't want to. A little upset with Jackson now. I didn't really want to talk about it because I think it's just the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
And how many times do we say this? And then all of a sudden something happens and we're like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah, like people were talking about
it
with the yellow kit, but I never hated it. I thought it was weird, but like that blue, the blue at the back, the numbers, I thought was great. It clashed well with the yellow, and I never hated it. No, I was like okay about it, but then I grew to like it once I saw the blue. I mean, I guess the last kit I really didn't like was the what is it? It's the white with the marble. It's supposed to
Oh
emulate the
yeah,
marble
yeah,
stones.
the marble
Um,
halls.
but I ended up like with the shorts and the socks and everything. I was like, okay, not terrible, but I still didn't like it. Like this, I don't see myself liking this. This might be, this is. I don't know if I can name an uglier kit that we have worn, and we've had so many. So I'm sure someone in the chat can prove me wrong. But yeah, no, this is the ugliest. And at first I was like, okay, it's a training kit. I don't like it, but it's fine. I get it. You're paying homage to Ian Wright, Africa, and what is it? Yeah, a bunch of stuff. And I was just like, okay, don't like it, but I understand. But then when I found out it was actually our weight kit, I was just like,
If it were a training kit, I don't
yeah,
think I don't. Glenn, what do you?
it
First of
looks
all,
like a training kit. That's why I was like, oh
it
yeah, it
really
makes
does.
sense.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, sorry I had technical
Yeah.
difficulties. I'm using my fucking phone right now.
It happens. What's up, buddy? How you been?
Hey, for those of us in the U.S., we're living through history. It's going to be taught 100 years from now. I can't stop watching YouTube. I'd rather watch that than the transfer bullshit. As far as the black kit goes, black kits are by far the highest selling Arsenal kit. Throw that into the equation. It's subjective. I like black kits and I like the coloring. I just heard Ryan. He doesn't like it. That's life. That's what makes life beautiful. We all have different opinions.
I don't want to say I'm happy I don't like it, but it's good that I don't like it for my wallet's sake.
Oh,
well, speaking of,
it's a kit I don't need to get, which I know. If Arsenal are watching, I don't want to say that out loud, but yeah, that makes it.
plenty
It makes
of
my
other people are
decisions
going to buy it,
easier.
Ryan. I don't think they're going to miss.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kidding,
guys,
but yeah,
guys, I watched a video of someone that went to the armory, went outside, took it out, and they said how much it was. They said it was 145 pounds. I'm like, that sounds expensive. Hey Siri, what's 145 pounds in dollars? And it came out to like $100 for a jersey. Ouch.
It's first of all, that would be an authentic. I think. I don't think the replica kit is that much.
It wasn't authentic. It wasn't authentic.
Yeah.
Now that you said that, it popped in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy the authentics because I'm too fat to wear the authentics. They show every.
Yeah, it
depends. They show everything that I've eaten for the last 2 weeks. It's just like in perpetuity, every meal I eat for 2 weeks. If I put that on, you're gonna see it. You're like, oh yeah, I had a Big Mac and fries like 7 days ago.
Oh, it depends on the kit because I forget the year, but the kit where it had the darker red stripe down the middle. So I bought that kit a few years ago, and I did realize it was authentic. I was like, oh yeah, I'll buy the authentic, whatever. I think it was my first authentic kit I've ever bought. When I tell you it was skin tight, I waited for my wife to come home from work, and I showed her, and she was laughing for a good 2 days.
Wait! I came in at the end. All I heard is my wife came in, and I showed her. What did you show her?
So I know I remember Alexis Sanchez wearing it. So it was when Alexis Sanchez was in the club. But the year we had the kits with the dark red stripe down the middle. A lot of people don't like that kit. I love it. I think it's like, a really nice kit. Yeah, I don't know.
I have a Santi Cazorla one.
But yeah, I bought it. I bought the authentic. I was like, ooh, and it was a really good deal. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'll just buy the authentic because I couldn't find the replica and I really liked the kit. And when it was I don't know what could be more skin tight than skin tight, but yeah. My nipples weren't hard, but it looked like my nipples were hard. It was so tight on me. I laughed. It was like I don't know if you guys ever seen the meme or the gif of the kid laughing and then turns into crying. Yeah, that was me. Yeah. I was laughing and then I turned into crying and then I showed my wife and she was laughing.
The only authentic jerseys or kits that should ever be bought by us, and not just us, but I mean like the public in general, are hockey jerseys.
What jerseys?
Hockey jerseys.
Oh,
why not
everything else. Well, first of all, baseball. Yeah, I guess baseball. But we heard all of the
Oh yeah,
all the
kits this year.
bullshit
Yeah, I don't.
with the new baseball jerseys and whatnot. But I mean, I have a couple of authentic football jerseys, and they're weird because the sleeves, the sleeves stretch,
Yeah,
and they
'cause
have
of
to
the
stretch
pads.
to fit the pads underneath.
Yep.
Yeah. So in
Well, all right.
basketball,
So back to
I'm just not wearing a tank top.
So back to what I will say about authentic jerseys is I don't buy them. I will buy them if, I mean, who knows? Maybe they all do, and I just didn't realize it. But I'll buy them if they have if the authenticity of the kit is interesting or means something, and it obviously fits my body. So, for instance, our home kit last season, the red with the gold trim, it had the Invincibles record down the line. I thought that was the coolest fucking thing. So I ended up getting it, and it fits phenomenal. It might be one of my best fitting jerseys that I have. So not all authentics are really tight. It depends on the shirt, which is very bizarre to me. But yeah, I think I might have another authentic. But yeah, that to me, like, that's cool. But like, I had the yellow kit from last season. The authentic is just, I think the dots are different. I don't care about that. It doesn't mean it. There's no difference.
No, I'm not spending that kind of money.
Yeah, I don't. I don't.
I mean,
To me, yeah, you buy the kit to support the club. Don't get me wrong. I want to be proud that I support Arsenal, but I want to be comfortable too. Like, because so for me, I have
like a fucking commercial. Come on.
Yeah, it's fine.
Listen,
I have a lot of kits.
If Arsenal made a fucking noose, I'm not buying it, and I'm damn sure not wearing it.
I get it.
A replica maybe, because I wouldn't be able to hang myself. But yeah, that's another story.
Hey, guys, look what I found in my basement when I was cleaning up. Remember how I've been so mad at him? You remember this sign I had, the light up Partey sign? That was my light up Partey sign.
I really thought I thought you were about to pull up a PS5.
Oh, no. I only glanced at a headline. Have you guys heard anything about Partey staying? Because that would kind of ruin my day.
So I wanted to quickly go back because Tanner didn't let me. I mean, it's fine. We were moving on.
All right.
There is an update.
A really bad attempt to change the subject.
There is an update. No, it's fine. I want to shout out to none of us Arsenal podcast, which I feel like we do every time, which they deserve it. They did I don't know how they did it I think they did it last season. They did the kits and they voted. I want to do a kit bracket. I think that'd be so much fun. Obviously, when Jackson's internet works, he's got to be involved. But I would love, and I've seen multiple places do it. But I hate that it's a new kit every season because it's more money than I'm spending. But it's very cool to compare kits. I don't know if to compare kits, but to have a nice little tournament. Probably will be done during March. But anyways, back to what I was really going to say is there is an update with the Calafiore situation. Fabrizio Romano tweeted this 4 hours ago. I'm just reading an update. I'm not saying this is 100% truth and this is what's going on because I'm kind of going to contradict what you said, BG, earlier, that Bologna want Kivior. They were going to put him in the deal. Bologna okay, cool. That's awesome. Kivior is not keen on the move. Kivior doesn't want to go. He's not convinced as of yet. So I'll read the tweet exactly. So Bologna asked for Jakub Kivior during talks with Arsenal for Ricardo Calafiore, but Polish defender is currently not keen on the move. Calafiore keeps waiting for Arsenal. And then another thing, Kivior can leave Arsenal on loan with a mandatory buy clause as reported in June. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to take that. I definitely think either Kivior or Zinchenko's going. I know Glenn, you weren't here. I think they both should be sold, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a time thing. Calafiore is going to be an Arsenal player. As far as Jakub Kivior being in the mix, I don't know. And then obviously the party rumors are there's no buyers out there for him. So he might be staying and he might stay to the end of his contract, which is just 1 year. So yeah, we want to sell him. We want to make money on him. I don't know how much money we would make, but I'm not entirely I'm not bothered if he stays. But the problem is I don't, but it's just tough because if he stays, I still want to bring a midfielder in because I still think we need someone better than a Partey. I don't think Partey and Jorginho are going to be able to withstand the longevity of Champions League and Premier League for us this season. So it'll definitely be maybe maybe even like a Charlie Patino staying if he's up to the task, if he can handle the Premier League, which I mean it doesn't look good, but we'll see.
Okay, so I've tweeted all this already. So for the 5 people that like my tweets every time that I tweet something, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself. I don't give a shit. I trust Ryan. I trust BG. I don't give a shit what anyone says unless the story starts with Arsenal signs. All right. I can't stand transfer season because to me it's just a game of let's play who's lying to me today. You want to talk about Arsenal's weaknesses? I'll jump on board with that, Ryan. I'm totally with you. Partey, healthy, is fantastic. He's unreliable. He kicked a fucking balloon and was out for 6 months. So, no Partey. Can't rely on him. Sorry. He's healthy. He finished strong. Get the F out. Just like the fans are saying to Southgate right now. Or did he fucking quit? I don't even know because I've been watching YouTube about the U.S. thing. So anyway, I'll be glad to talk about these things. But you know what transfer season reminds me of, guys? This is going to go past anybody that doesn't know old Simpsons. But Homer Simpson's on a really long drive on the highway, and he sees a sign that says, Flaming Pete's 500 miles, and he's starving. And then he, 250 miles, Flaming Pete's, and he's so hungry for steak. And then when he gets to Flaming Pete's, it's burned down. What we got here is, what was the last one? Sesco, Calafiore, whatever the fuck his name is. You will keep falling for it. It's so fucking funny. It's every time I see it, I think of Flaming Pete's. What? Why do you guys always get quiet when I'm done talking?
Because you're yelling, and I'm just
I'm
absorbing.
I'm letting the
I'm just absorbing.
not the joke.
Guys, can I just say none of that was directed at you, anybody watching now, or anybody watching later. That's just how I feel. I'm fucking sick of it. Some people love this shit. Obviously, Ryan just went through this fucking detailed thing. And am I wrong that you liked Kivior, but now you want him out, or am I mistaking you for someone else, Ryan?
I like Kivior, but if we're bringing in Calafiore, they're the same. To me, they're the same exact player. I think Kivior is probably a little more left back oriented, whereas Calafiore is more center back oriented. But I think Arteta sees them as one and the same. So there's no point in having them both in the club, especially when we can make, we could make some money off Kivior and use it for there are pressing issues that we again we just talked about. I think the midfield needs to be addressed. I guess I'm gonna kind of dial it back a little bit. I think we could last the season with Partey and Jorginho, but I don't want to, and it's gonna make me nervous as hell all season. And the thing with a Partey type player is he needs games. You can't stick a player like Partey in every 4 or 5 games and expect him to be top of the food chain, best player on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tough. It's just the kind of player he is. So yeah, I don't know, but I do like them. Yeah, it's gone. It's empty. I do like them both as players, and I think I wouldn't hate it. I know a lot of people we need to sell Partey. We need to sell Partey. He could just leave on a free at the end of the season, and we could just be okay, you're on the roster, you're depth, you'll be on the bench. But I think the midfield needs to be addressed. But as we've seen with Edu and Arteta, I think they just want the deals. They're looking for good deals. And if there's no good deal for a midfielder, I can totally see them not going into the transfer window in buying one. But again, we have players like a Charlie Patino. We have I was gonna name somebody, but now I fucking forgot. Who is this? James. Probably me and James will have to debate this later. I think Rice is a better 6 than an 8, and I think he should be a 6 for us, especially this season. If we're not bringing a midfielder, cool. Rice, you're a 6. We need a left 8, and I think the left 8 it's an interesting one. I have some ideas, not that are a little crazy. Maybe instead of a left 8, right 8, maybe like a left 10, a right 10. It's a hint of someone I want to bring in. But yeah, I think that with Arteta and AD, like trying to find deals, which I love. I want to buy smart, obviously. I think we need to adapt with our. I see. It's funny, and yes, I'm biased because he scored the game winner against Germany to knock us out of the Euros. So I'm not a fan of him. But like I don't know. If we sell Partey, I'd be like, yeah, he's like a depth guy. He is not someone that's going to be in our. So I would take a healthy Partey over this guy. Let's just put it that way. I don't think he really raises the floor. Maybe he doesn't raise the ceiling. And for me, I think with the integration of like Wanyeri, Lou Skelly, I think our floor is already they're going to raise it. The kids, I want to raise our ceiling because we're always right there, and we're just we're the bridesmaids. We're the bridesmaids, but never the bride. Yeah, but see, okay, fair, but we have Jorginho and Partey already, so you're going to have him third on the depth chart. I just, especially for 30 million, we're going to be paying probably 25 to 30 million euros. It's not. It doesn't make sense. Not worth it. But who knows? I mean, I
Brian,
think what?
Who are those Italian sounding names you just said?
Calafiore.
Oh no! After that, it was two guys in a row. You said. I'm sorry.
Patino and
Patino's on the team.
Patino.
Charlie Patino's he's a young guy.
Patino, I know he's a youngster at Arsenal. I know he's always involved.
Louis Skelly is
that was the other guy.
He's in the academy too.
Yeah,
he's
an academy
he's
guy.
A winger.
He's an Englishman.
And what the position does the second guy play?
Winger. He's an attacking player. Winger. I think he's played 10. There was talk he could play 8, but again, he's academy. I don't really think he's got like a.
Yeah,
he plays wing for us. He scores goals.
The thing with all of this is I feel like there does need to be one other option at the 6 or the 8. The thing is, for me, is that we look at
what he's sorry really quick. I apologize. He's a center mid. I'm thinking of Cozy or Dewberry. Apologies. He's his main position is a defensive midfielder. Other positions are center midfield and left back. I wouldn't have never.
Thank you.
I
really was in. I'm not
according to Transfer Market.
Go ahead.
David Ornstein. This is. It's not Arsenal related, but it is a bit of breaking news. Lenny Yoro from Lille is signing with Manchester United. Real Madrid were firm favorites to land him, and United have beaten them to it. Basically, Yoro saying that he didn't feel that he would get a lot of playing time at Madrid, which I don't know why anyone would go there if you're 18 or 19 years old, unless you're Vinny Jr. or you're of that ilk. You're just not going to play. So, but anyway, go ahead, Glenn.
I just wanted to add on to what you said about the breaking news, and I just want to put this here. I don't know if you can see it. It says, "Love all of you guys," because some of you might be insulted by this. But the thing that makes me crazy, the first thing I thought of when you said that breaking news is great. More of the people I follow and love and respect are going to scream in their thumbnails and on X, where are the signings? It makes me freaking insane. But okay, go ahead. I love all of you. You just make me crazy. I can love my wife and kids, and they make me crazy too.
Yeah, so kind of back to my point. I don't know that there is a player that fits what it is Arteta wants to do that is going to come in right away and start. I don't know that player exists out there right now that's better than what we have.
I think
I
personally, I think Arteta well, because we've seen Pep do it. So I'm just it's I hate assuming, but you want to assume that when every season Pep kind of evolves and changes what he does. To be fair though, when Holland came in, he had to. He had no choice. Um, I could see Arteta kind of doing the same thing, kind of evolving, adapting, changing things around, moving players around. I do think Arteta is more of a manager that um, is keen with players and he wants players to fit his system. But I think once the players come in and get into the system, I think he moves it through there. Whereas he's not going to spend a shitload of money because again, we're not City. Let's obviously we all know that. So we're not going to spend a lot of money on Erling Haaland, even if he's going to change everything around. And also to be fair, I don't think there is a player of Erling Haaland's status that could really change our things around. There is a player that I kind of am a little keen to that I think could change our midfield around, kind of make things a little different. But I mean, it's
Say the name.
it's finding the goodbye. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. I am gonna say so. If I wanted to, I'm obviously very biased, and people got to see him at the Euros a lot. The guy I really want to bring in is Musiala.
Ooh.
From Bayern Munich. I've been a big fan. I've been following his career, obviously, because
And you watch a lot of Bundesliga, don't you?
I watched a lot of the German team, and I think I don't want to say he's a perfect player because he definitely doesn't really fit Arteta's system, but he's a kind of guy where, to me, it's like you have Odegaard as the right 10, you have Musiala as the left 10. I think they're both different kinds of players. I think Musiala I would say he's like a hybrid Reece Nelson, Thomas Partey type player where he's brave on the ball. He likes to dribble. He likes to go center, but he plays a little out on the wings. He prefers the left, which is great because Odegaard prefers the right. And he can score goals and he can create goals. And I've been a big fan of him since he was like 16, 17 when he was like bursting onto the scene. He just and on top of that too, like I think he'd be perfect for us because I think he opens up space for players like a Kai Havertz to run into, which Kai doesn't really need help because I think he's just so good off the ball. But maybe a player who's not the best off the ball, and this is obviously me wishful thinking, but maybe like an ESR, I don't know. But yeah, I think he's a world class talent, and if we could somehow get him, and I know there's rumors suggesting that there's a mystery Germany player that we're talking to. I don't think it's him,
Flaming
but
Pete's.
it could be.
Flaming
Pete's.
Yeah.
But I will say really quick, and I'm done. I don't think he's Saka to Bayern. I don't. I think Bayern have just so many players, and I think they're a team that just, to me, they're more of a Man City, and they just recruit. They do a good job recruiting younger players. Thing too is like they have kind of like a stranglehold on especially the younger German players, is because everybody wants to play for Bayern. Like when you grow up, like Bayern are just the powerhouse. They've always been. They always, for now, will be. So all the young German players want to go there no matter what. So they kind of already have a leg up in the competition in signing younger players, and they do a really good job doing it. But I don't want to say I don't know if they ever really like nail their masses to any of the players. Like you look at even like a Thomas Muller. Yes, he's getting older. I would say he was probably their last real golden boy, but he hasn't really been, he's coming off the bench. He's not really playing much. Again, he's older, but I don't think they really have that star boy like we have with Saka.
Can I ask you guys a question since Ryan brought up the name Pep? And this is just one question, then we move on to whatever you're doing next, BG. Do you guys think that if Pep was the England coach, they'd have a few more trophies? With that generational talent they have on that?
I think if anybody was the England coach, I take it back. Not anybody. I think there are a lot of managers, especially
a Pep-like coach. I don't know. I was so disappointed. All right.
Well, the answer then would be yes. I think there are a lot of managers out there that currently don't have clubs or teams to manage that could have. Now, would they have beaten the Spain team? I don't know.
I thought on paper England was just as good as Spain. I'm sorry, guys. I had no one to talk to while the Euros were going on, and I just wanted to ask a quick question.
No, it's fine. I think Spain are more of a team. I think England are more individualistic players, and they don't really fit the system. Southgate tried to shoehorn a lot of players in that shouldn't have been in positions. To me, Harry Kane doesn't fit I think, yeah, Harry Kane is a great player, but I think if you're picking the best 11 to beat Spain, Harry Kane doesn't make it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I agree.
I
agree 100%.
You have Foden, you have Bellingham, you have Kane, all taking the same area. Like if you look at the heat maps during their games, they're all in the same area. They're they're stepping on each other's toes, and it's just
I do think yes. I think that. And what the very first thing that Ryan said, there are a number of managers that I think would have more international trophies with this England team. And the rumors that I'm hearing now about who replaces Southgate as the England manager, and it's almost like the FA are looking for that pragmatic manager that is going to play that okay, we're going to play for a 0-0 draw for 80 minutes. And then for the last 15 minutes of the game, we're going to go for it. But for the first 80 to 85 minutes, let's just play for a draw. Let's not get crazy here and try to score goals. That's who does that? That's crazy talk. You're not supposed to score goals before the 80th minute.
Can I just say one more thing? I tweeted this also. Southgate, they are so manipulative of the UK public. With Southgate, officials are never held up to any real scrutiny. When England is, going to the finals, they announce, we might get another 2-year contract. They just manipulate the shit out of the public, and it makes me crazy. Another thing, Southgate said that this amazing English team on paper was nervous in the group stage. That's a lack of leadership. It's a little it's not, doesn't look good for the players either. But you need a patent coach. And what? You guys are nervous? Get the whatever. It just, to me, he drives me crazy. I know that I don't feel the loss as well as the people in that are English, but it really pissed me off because I always root for them. These things don't come around every freaking summer, and I just see blown opportunity after blown opportunity, and it's sickening. I can only imagine how people who live in the UK and around the world feel. Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Get them, because I don't really give a shit.
I know you guys
but here's the thing, though, Glenn. I don't have the feeling that you have right now. But I was rooting for them. Like, if I'm going to root for anyone, that's who I rooted for. But I like, to Ryan's point, this team doesn't work. It's as though what they're doing is he's the FA, Southgate, anybody involved in choosing the players for the team they're picking just simply the best players. But if your best 11 players, let's just say, are all attacking players, well, now all of a sudden you've got a team that can attack but can't play defensively. And that seems to be what he's done. And then it's just like, well, I'm going to play the best attacking players in the attacking positions, whether that's their natural position or not. And, like Ryan said, with Foden, Bellingham, Kane, they're all in the same spot. They're all stepping on each other's toes. They can't get out of their own way. They shouldn't be playing together. It's not a team. It's not. These players have a defined role for the bulk of their playing careers with their clubs, and then they come to, they get into the English side, and hey, it's great to play for your country, and I understand that that's a big honor for these guys, but like you need a coach that's going to say, you're not the best player in this position, you're not going to play. You're going to come off the bench. Foden and Bellingham, come on, Jude Bellingham's the better player here. And just look at be like, dude, you look at Phil Foden and okay, what is does Pep have like a black bag squad that's going to come after me if I don't play you for some reason? Like, what's the story here? But that's the thing with England, and it's been that way since Southgate took over. But I almost don't know that it's a Southgate thing now. From what I've heard with the FA and the coaches that they're looking at, they're talking about Ange Postecoglou.
Okay. Anyway, BG Ryan, I swear I wasn't trying to change the subject.
I don't care. There's Glenn. There's nothing to talk about. Talk about
no itinerary, Glenn.
Yeah. There's no.
Okay.
The transfer shit, man. I'm kind of with you. I do enjoy the rumors because it gets me looking at players, and then I can do a little research and a deep dive.
Of course.
But beyond that, I echo your sentiments on the transfer shit wholeheartedly.
Mike Hertz doesn't even watch. He plugs out during this time of year.
Yeah. I mean, David Ornstein, if David Ornstein tweets something, I trust David Ornstein. Romano, I've heard about Fabrizio Romano, being like in clubs' back pockets and their, the things that
Chelsea pays him.
Chelsea pay him basically to put shit out there. But let's talk about Arsenal players, the guys that are actually here, because there are a few rumors that Emile Smith-Rowe is close to leaving.
I'll be so pissed.
Two more that came up. Eddie to Marseille, I believe. And Reece Nelson now apparently has agreed personal terms with West Ham. Now it's a matter of the two clubs coming to an agreement on fee. So
I'm happy.
We'll come to ESR last, and I think we all are going to have the same thing to say there. But we'll start with Eddie and Jackson. Do we want to give him another year and a half in the squad to prove himself? Do we want him out this window? Seems like the club is heading toward the former, meaning keeping him around. Ryan talks all the time about raising the floor now. Raising the floor and then raising the ceiling. And Eddie is a guy that just is going to hold the floor down, in my opinion. There's just nothing there for me with Eddie. He just doesn't fit what Arteta wants to do. I mean, he's basically a minutes filler. If you want to give somebody a break, if we're winning 4-0 in the 70th minute, you want to give somebody a break. You want to give, if it's Kai playing the 9 or whomever, that Gabby, whomever, you want to take them off, give them a break, but you want to replace but you want to do like for like. There you go. That's all Eddie is right now. If he sticks around here, all Eddie will be, to me, in my opinion, is a minutes filler in games that are decided, and we're just going to try to give whoever's playing the number 9, we're going to try to give him a break. And I'm not even sure he would play then, because if you're going to make a change, I would think you would want to freshen up defensively, because you're just going to park the bus at that point. So I don't really know how Eddie gets minutes, because at this point I would say he's third on the depth chart. And depending on how Arteta might want to shake things out, he could be 4th or 5th.
Ryan, can I have 30 seconds before you go?
You go for it.
I like that metaphor, or whatever you call it, of the ceiling and the floor thing. But I think you have to take into account other things too. And a lot of this rolls on how you rate Nketiah. To me, I'm not done. I'm not ready to throw him on the dustbin. But the thing to me that matters the most, and like I said, I love your little metaphor, is we have constantly been not getting what players are worth. It's time. 30 million for Nketiah, maybe 25, but that's the lowest. There's something there, and in the right system, he could blossom. I'm sorry, that was longer than 30 seconds. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, you're good. I'm talking to Big Gunner about pizza. So, no, I don't. I'm actually a little surprised Jackson worded it that way. What does Eddie have to prove? There's nothing I don't think he could prove. He could score goals if he plays a stretch of games. But yeah, he doesn't fit the system. And actually, I think the opposite. I think if he's going to get minutes for us, okay. All right. I think I'm going to throw
So what kind of pizza you gotten?
Artichoke. What I will say is I was going to type this out, but since I'm talking, I'm just going to say it now. Biggest gunner, if you are in Kew Gardens at any point, you have to go to Danny's House of Pizza. It's got very sweet sauce. If you like sweet sauce, it's my favorite pizza anywhere. And I've been to a lot of places.
God damn it! Now I want
Danny's.
pizza. You sons of
Danny's House of Pizza is
Okay. Now get to your point.
Don't
I'm
worry.
using my phone, so I'm not going to know my wife
all
wants to.
Dad. So yeah. So with Eddie, I think it's the opposite of what BG was saying. He's the guy that when he came on this season, he came on if we were down and we needed a goal because it's like, okay, time's running out. We need a goal. Fuck the tactics. Fuck the formation. And they'll shoehorn Eddie in with Kai, with Jesus sometimes, you know. Yeah, I don't know. We just there's nothing. The only explanation that I would want as far as keeping Eddie would be if a team goes, "Hey, we're gonna buy him from you in January. Just give him some minutes and just make sure he doesn't get hurt." And I'd be like, "Okay, I'll keep him until January." But I don't want to. We need to let him go now. He's gonna fit a team. I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised Nelson agreed to terms to West. I mean, this is true. I'm surprised Nelson agreed to terms so quickly with West Ham and Eddie. I thought people would be knocking our door down for Eddie just because I think Eddie he's a goal scorer and I think he needs to. I don't even think he needs to fit a system. I think he just needs to be in a team that kind of has just like a team that has a striker. Like we don't really have I just think we're and like I'm not trying to jerk Arteta off too much, even though like I am. I just think Arteta is just so like far evolved that like a player that could just score goals, which is like what the object of the game is to score goals. It just doesn't suit us. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't make sense to us.
He does not. He does not play the way that Kai Havertz plays.
Whoever that is, I'm using my phone to be on a show. Please do not come in here. Thank you.
It
worked.
I agree with everything that Ryan is saying. The thing is, he will do well at a Crystal Palace. He could do well at a Brighton. He could potentially do well at like even like a West Ham. That is his level. If he wants to go to Marseille, go. Yeah, sure. I'll take. I hate to say this. I'd take 20 mil. I'd take 20 mil and was that weed?
No. I was nothing. Go.
Okay. But Eddie's level just isn't here. He just doesn't do enough to suit what Arteta's trying to do. So at this point, I'm taking just about any offer I can get for him, and out the door he goes. I would
disagree.
I wouldn't take any offer. We could definitely get money for him.
Yes.
Like he's the alt again. It's still a trophy. It's still an a trophy. It's still an award. He is the all-time leading goal scorer for England youth goal, or what is it? The under 21. He's got some record for most goals.
But he's a system player.
No, I don't know. See, I don't think he is. I think he's just an out-and-out striker. He's not a system player.
Let me rephrase. He's not a player for our system. That's more of what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
My current view of Eddie is he's a very streaky player. And a change of scenery would do him well, and the right system, as you guys are saying, I think he would produce some goals.
Well, the problem is he's streaky because he can't get. If you notice when I think it was when Obama got hurt, he had like 6 games in a row.
Yeah, I remember that.
He scored like 5 goals. He was insane. You just need to give him minutes, and obviously it's something we can't do. So like, yeah, I think we just need to. I mean, obviously, yes, Alex, we need someone, but we just need someone that again raises the ceiling. He does not raise the ceiling.
No, I don't. But he also does that. But he also, to your point, Ryan, he also doesn't raise the floor. There are better players out there. So let me.
And also, we're making a pure profit on him. He's from our.
Well, that's true too. But
Let's
Nice.
see how far apart we are. And then, BG, please finish your thought. Ryan and I say 25, 30 million is realistic. What do you say?
I agree with that. I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah. I think 25 to 30 is a realistic not expectation. I think 25 to 30 is a realistic ask.
Okay.
I think if I'm entering negotiations to sell Eddie, I'm starting at 30 million.
Yeah, absolutely.
My counter offer, because if somebody's going to come in, the way the negotiation will work is you guys are going to call me and say, we're interested in buying Eddie. This is our number. This is the number that we're coming in at. And I promise you that number will be lower than 20 million. Whoever it is that comes in to start their opening bid will be less than 20 million. And that's not because they don't value him that much. That's just the way that a negotiation works. So they'll come in at 18 and a half. My number would be 30. I'd start at 30. I might go to 32. Knowing that we're going to meet in the middle. I'm not going to accept 18 or 18 and a half. They're not going to accept 32. We're going to negotiate this down, hopefully to right around. If you look at 18, you look at 32, where's the middle? 25.
Yeah.
So I would like to split the 25 to 30, get 27 or 28 for him. But again, back to the point of tanking players' values, we are great at that. And that is exactly what I think we've done here. You've got to go back 2 years to look at a goal streak that he had, like what Ryan just mentioned. But the problem is it was 2 or 3 years ago. And he doesn't get any minutes because Arteta doesn't rotate any of these guys. So he doesn't play. So now a team comes in and says, but you haven't played him for a year. He's not gotten any meaningful minutes for a year. And now you want me to give you 35 million for him?
To be fair, he had a hat trick this season.
And my response would be like, you want me to give you 35 million for a player that had a hat trick this season in one game, hasn't done anything other than that really of note. I'm not even sure he can still run and kick a ball at the same time. Because I haven't seen him play.
Yeah, but BG, think about the technology age we live in right now.
Oh, you get video. I understand that. Yeah.
They can measure all kinds of things about Eddie. He's only 23.
That works.
Or 24.
Favor. That works in his favor because he's still a young guy, and hopefully he goes to the right team. But again, I'm with Ryan on this. I keep coming back to it. I don't mean to keep harping on it, but I'm raise the floor. Eddie does.
We were our players. Oh my God! I get to ESR so I could go on another rant.
No,
just real.
I'm having the last word.
It's this idea that we were in on Benjamin Sesko and we wanted him to come in and be the number 9, and now we're talking about keeping Eddie. I don't like the two things. Don't
no. Jackson's talking about keeping Eddie, not us. We're not. Jackson's talking about keeping Eddie. I'm not talking. We're none of us talking about keeping Eddie. Only Jackson. I mean,
I do agree with this. I do agree with that statement. FA Cup Carabao minutes.
He's not going to. But Arteta's not going to play him. We've seen this time and time out. He's
I got to agree with Ryan.
But that is not an Eddie Nketiah problem. That's a Nketiah problem.
I'm not saying it is.
Yeah.
Ryan,
go ahead. You wanted the last word. Go ahead.
The only thing I'm going to say is this, and I agree with everything you said, Tanner. The only thing I'm going to say is I think Eddie should go for 20. I think Eddie should go for over 30 mil.
Me too.
Only because I know I think he's a really good player, but I think I've seen him for so long. You know, we kind of breathe Arsenal. We watch everything about Arsenal. Other teams don't really watch as much. So I'm obviously going to have a higher validation. I think he's going to be sold for a lot less because, again, like you said, he hasn't played, doesn't fit the system. He needs to be sold. I think whatever team buys him, though, is going to get a good deal on him. I think he's a great player. I think he's a goal scorer, and that's what teams are going to buy him. A team that buys Eddie Nketiah is going to want him just to put the ball in the back of the net. They're going to give him minutes, and they're just going to score goals. So I think we're going to get less than what we should get for him, less than what we want for him. It's going to be a good deal, and we're still going to make money, and it's still going to be, used hopefully in a good way, but. It just it just at this point it just needs to happen.
Yes or no?
know.
Yes or no on Bronx Gunners thing here?
It's too small.
Would I
can't
sell
see
him?
it.
Would I sell both
Both.
of them for $50 million?
I'd take $50 million for both. West Ham come in and said, we'll give you $50 million for both. Would you do it?
Read it to me. I'm using my phone.
West Ham want Eddie and Reece Nelson for $50 million total.
Oy.
So you're getting. I would do it because you could look at it now. You could look at it as Reece. Would you take 20 for Reece Nelson?
I think.
Yeah.
And
I
30 if you would do 20 for Reece Nelson, if you would accept that, then you sold Eddie for 30. There's your 30 million. I mean, you could split the difference and just say 25. But I'm doing that. I'm doing that in a heartbeat.
I'd be a hypocrite if I said no, but that's a great question.
I'm not, no. If West Ham is the first offer I get, if I know there's teams looking at Eddie, teams looking at Nelson, I'm not taking that offer. Now, if I can't, I mean,
what if it's the best offer?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, if it's the best offer, then yeah, you take it. But I don't think it is. I think. So again, I think Eddie should be sold for, but I think Eddie should be sold more than Reece Nelson. But I think Reece Nelson will sell for more because I think Reece Nelson kind of brings a little something different to the table, and I just think his flash is going to add a couple million to the price tag, whereas Eddie just puts balls in the back of the net. But I get they both don't really play, but I think the writing. I think the writing's on the. I guess this isn't really going to make sense, but the writing is on the wall with both of them. But I think the writing is more on the wall for Eddie. I think it's like we're pushing Eddie up the door. It's like Reece. It's like, yeah, we want to get rid of him, but it is what it is. I just think Alex, I know you can call me crazy. I think it's not a thing of I think Reece is going to sell for more because I think people are going to want Reece more. I think people are going to give us less money for Eddie because of a lot of factors. But I think we're going to get. It's not a we're getting more for Reece. It's we're going to get less for Eddie, if that makes any sense.
That deal hurts me. It would bother me all year. But if it's the best offer,
what?
I don't think it's. I don't
for both.
I don't think it's a bad offer, but I would not take it.
And I don't want to see Eddie on a Premier League team this season or the next person we're going to talk about.
Sorry, I just
why
got
not?
a message on my phone. Sorry.
Because I don't. Because I know I in my heart of hearts I feel Eddie's a decent striker, and
you. All right, let's put it this way. Who are you picking in a? I mean, it's not fair because it's 2-on-1, but I'm still gonna give it to you anyway. Gabriel and Saliba, or Eddie and Kedia.
No, I get it.
Like, I'm gonna be happy if he goes to a Premier League team and he touch and if he scores goals. Hey, fuck it. If he scores 1 or 2 against us, I'm not gonna be happy for him. But like, whatever, good for him.
If he goes to
I'm not worried about going against him with Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiore, Ben White, Timber. I'm not worried about him.
We're not friggin' Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminators, our defense. They're gonna make mistakes. I think Eddie has a quick shot. Look, dude, stop making me defend him.
Yeah, I don't know why you're defending him.
Because I still think there's something there, and you guys are shitting all over him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the last word on this, and we're gonna move on to ESR. Sorry, Ryan.
Yes, please.
But at the end of the day, Eddie isn't gonna play here. If he's not gonna play, move him on. If he's not gonna be a player that you're gonna and even like Jackson said, the FA Cup and Carabao Cup minutes, sure, but after the turn of the new year. If you're still in the Carabao Cup, you're probably in the semifinal. I think the quarterfinal is like early January. Might even be the semifinal of the League Cup is early January. So if you're that far, he's not going to play in those games because now you're 2 wins away from winning a trophy. He's not going to play that game. And FA Cup, you get into February, and now you're starting. You're going to get the Liverpools, the Uniteds, the Chelseas. We're going to get drawn against that team. It happens every year. While City get drawn against, I don't, Barnsley. That's just the way it goes. Our first FA Cup match this year is no doubt going to be Chelsea or Tottenham or somebody like that, United, and Manchester City are going to get Wrexham. Wrexham, damn near
what
killed
time
them.
is it?
It is 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
4:02. But anyway, if you're not going to play him, sell him. And I don't see where he's going to get. I don't see where he's going to get meaningful minutes. And it's the same thing with Reece Nelson. You're not going to play him, sell him. And at this point, you've tanked their value by not playing them. So the best offer that's going to come along is going to be 5 to 10 million below your valuation. You've got to take it, and you have to look yourself in the mirror when you're done and say, that's my fault because I didn't give this guy enough of an opportunity. I had him in the shop window when we were closed. And then when I lifted the blind and flipped the open sign on, I took him out and put something shinier and brighter in the window, and that's what I showed off.
All right, look, I'm not saying we're losing a Nabri. Is that how you say it? Yeah, that's how you say his name. But I'm saying, to me, he has the possibility of being a mini Olivier Giroud. All right, that's what I'm saying.
That's wow.
Mini.
All right.
Mini.
All right.
You put him in the Bundes.
All right, move on. Let's go. We're done. Who gives a shit?
ESR. Glenn, you've got the first word on ESR.
Wait, what about Reece? Okay.
ESR.
I think we covered Reece.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
ESR no lower than 50 million, and damn it, do not sell him to a Premier League team because he's going to be a stud. That's all.
You want 50 million, you're only going to get it from a Premier League team. You're not going to get that from anybody
Well, then
else.
F you, he stays. No undersell. My phone's going off. No underselling ESR. No way. He's going to be a star.
Ooh, I don't know.
That's it. Because I don't have time to rant. I know I don't have time to rant. So
with ESR,
it's how you rate him. Don't apologize for how you rate him.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I wholeheartedly agree with Glenn. but I do. But here's the kicker, Glenn. I agree with everything you said, but the caveat is he going to play? Will Mikel Arteta put him in that left 8 role where I think he would absolutely flourish, given what I think Arteta wants from that role, which is he wants that. Ryan, correct me if you disagree. I feel maybe this isn't the right way to put it, but that deep lying playmaker, the guy that's going to run in at the very end of the attack, get the ball on a pullback and fire it at net. That role, you know who I think would be perfect in that role if he were younger and still playing and still part of the club? Aaron Ramsey.
I've been saying that, yeah.
I think Aaron Ramsey and ESR has been.
I mean, to be fair, that's what
Ramsey.
he did. That's what he was the first left 8 for Arsenal before there was a left 8. Like when he was in Wenger's team, he was playing in a I can't think of the word. He was playing a double pivot, and there was just he wasn't even late arriving into the box. He was ahead of Giroud on a lot of plays. He was just so far pushed forward, and it worked. He scored. It was fine. Like, he frustrated me. He might have frustrated me more than Granit Xhaka did. That's probably not true. But he was the most frustrating player to watch because he couldn't keep structure, couldn't keep position, but he scored goals when it mattered. I mean, he couldn't really stay healthy either, but yeah.
ESR, I agree. Like I would not want to sell him for less than 50 million. But if I'm not, but again, you don't, if you're okay, so you put yourself in Mikel Arteta's headspace and Edu's headspace. And we're sitting here saying, I don't want to sell him for less than 50 million, but I'm not the guy that's gonna write out the team sheet, twice a week. And if I'm not gonna put him on the team sheet, or if I'm gonna put him on as a sub, if I'm gonna put him on the bench, but I'm never going to bring him into the game, you got to take the 30 million if that's what you're going to get. 35.
No way.
But Glenn, you're saying, okay, and I agree with you because this is my caveat to it. I'm playing him. I'm going into preseason. I probably would have done it last year, but I'm going into preseason saying, ESR, I'm putting you in the left 8 role. It is your role. Unless you prove me wrong, unless you can't do the job, this is your role. This is your job to lose. you're the starter. And it's
I
perfect. And
wouldn't give him that kind of speech. I'd be like, you will get your chance. We appreciate that you want to stay here.
But Arteta never gives him his chance. They
I
gave
know,
him
I
the number
get that,
10
I
shirt,
get
for
that.
fuck's sake.
I get that.
And he doesn't play. Now, injuries have not helped his cause, but even being healthy, he doesn't get game time. Now, we could all, and I really, really, really hope I am pissing into the wind when I say this. Or I hope I'm not pissing into the wind when I say this. But we could show up in Philadelphia, Ryan, you and I, in a couple of weeks, and he starts in that left 8 role, and all of a sudden it's, this is going to be him going forward. He and Odegaard are going to work together in tandem on the left and the right in the midfield. And he's a big boy. Like, remember LL Cool James last week said Arteta wants big bodies in his midfield. Odegaard's 6 foot.
By me.
Okay.
ESR
her,
is what?
you.
6'1"?
Are you guys there? Are you still
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, we're here. We're here. We're here.
No.
Oh, geez. Anyway, I
can't wait.
hope-
I can't wait till I figure this out, because I would immediately just post Grandpa Simpson yelling at clouds. This is what he reminded me of, but I'm not as quick on that as
But I hope that everything I think Arteta is going to do with ESR, I hope everything I think is wrong. I hope I am pissing into the wind with what I think, and I don't think he's going to play. And I want to get to Philly. I want to watch the game.
He's I don't know if he's gonna play in Philly, but he's going to play in the preseason 100%, unless he's already sold. But
well, but I mean, are there ongoing negotiations where we say, where they say, look, we're negotiating his exit. We don't want to play him and risk injury. So
I got 5 minutes.
All right. Yeah.
So real quick, BBC posted an article and just said Arsenal will only agree to the sale of Smith Rowe if it is deemed beneficial for all parties and would not look to push him out against his will. Reading that again, I mean, you don't really know how true that is, but reading that, to me, I think it's more of just like he needs minutes. Cool. If he's forcing his way out, then cool. I think there's a plan for him. Starter, no, but I mean, this is his preseason to prove himself. If he's not already sold, which I don't think so. I like the thing said. He's not going to go against his will. So and I genuinely think he wants to fight unless a crazy offer comes in. I really do.
I just wanted to say I don't necessarily disagree with anything Ryan just said, but what we have to remember is this is the key point, in my opinion, that Arsenal never tell us anything about freaking transfers, right? That's why we all go
that's
crazy.
what they do in Arteta. They're trying to not let anything get out.
So they actually said something involving transfers. They never do that. So you know what? I believe them because they never talk about this shit ever. And that's what makes us crazy and everybody else crazy.
Well, I think you could also say the same thing really about, Reece and Eddie as well. I mean, if the statement is we're not forcing them out and it has to be beneficial for both parties. Well, yeah, you're not going to you're not trying to shed salary. We're not in a boat where we have to sell players. We're PSR compliant. We don't have to sell the players, but you want to because you want to make some money. B, you want to reinvest that money back into the team. Are you listening, Bob Nutting? And it has to be beneficial. You're not gonna I would not if the best offer that I got for Eddie and Nketiah was $15 million, I wouldn't sell him. He is more valuable to me here than the 15 million pounds is.
See, I at this point in Eddie, I guess that's the difference here with these three players. I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that. Reece, I agree with. ESR, obviously, without question.
I'm not.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I'm not going to do anything with 15 million pounds to replace Eddie without having to find more. So okay, so but
what if that more never comes? He's not going to play.
But that's exactly what I mean. So if the more never comes and I can't make a move, I've sold him for 15 million, but I don't have the money to replace him. So he's worth more. So
here's the thing. I don't think we need to replace him. That's the crazy thing. I don't think we need to replace him.
I will agree with Jackson on this. Let me find your comment real quick. There it is. I need an incoming attacking option to feel good about letting go, to be honest, but fair point.
Yeah, an attacking option, not a striker. An attacking option is completely different.
Right. But let me also add to that one thing. If that option is in the academy somewhere and Arteta feels good about that player in the academy and says, we're selling Eddie and we're not going to look to buy someone else, you're getting the call. Welcome to the show, kid. Then I'm okay with it. Go ahead, Glenn.
I was going to say, I don't know how much trust Arteta would put in, regardless of, I love all the players you guys have mentioned, but in the youth academy, to put a huge amount of trust in a kid with the difference in winning the title being, 2 points? Yeah, I tried to put that out of my mind. Let
me kind of contradict your point, though. I get what you're saying, but I would say this, Glenn, with this knowledge, that whoever that player is, and I agree with you, he's not going to put a whole lot of trust into that young kid. But he hasn't put a whole lot of trust into Eddie either, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, he did for a while.
The minutes that young player could potentially get if Eddie is gone really aren't going to be that significant. And again, we're not he's probably not going to start an FA Cup or League Cup match. He's just not, because Arteta just doesn't do that. For some reason, I think he should, but he doesn't. But to go back to the trust, that player is going to get minutes in games where we don't have to trust him. We're not asking. We're asking him to simply fill minutes and be a body on the pitch.
Okay.
Don't go get me. I don't need you to go get me a goal. If the opportunity arises, by all means, take it. But we're not chasing a game. We're not chasing points. We've got a comfortable lead. We're in the driver's seat. We're putting it on cruise control now, baby, and sitting back.
Can I just say one more thing, because I have to go? I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Try not to get too crazy about the transfer market. Think about, to me, the transfer market's easy. It's like we can't rely on Partey and Jorginho. They're older. We got to get somebody in there. If we get two people, then a striker would be nice. Everybody watching later, love you. Thank you so much. BG, Ryan, go fuck yourselves. I love you guys too. I love you guys too. I have to go, and I'm sorry I was late. It won't never happen again.
You're fine. We'll get together soon, Glenn. Thanks, buddy.
Definitely will happen again. See you, Glenn.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Listen, he said fuck ourselves. Why don't we just fuck each other? Anyways, that's another thing.
What about Megan and Connor?
Oh, we're talking about Philly. Okay.
Well, I mean, when else are we going to do it? We're going to be in Philly together.
Well, I wasn't really going down that. I wasn't really going down that road. I just made a comment, but yeah, okay.
Everything else, but forget that part. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here too here in a few minutes. I'm not on a hard stop, but I just, we'll kind of chase our tails here with this conversation. I think at the end of the day, it boils down to, you have to ask the question you have to ask yourself when it comes to this stuff is, at what dollar amount do I say that is worth more to me than the player? Because ultimately that's what it comes down to. So you have a player and you have a dollar amount. And if the dollar amount, and it's not about meeting your valuation, it's about at what point do I say I can do something with that money to make myself feel good about losing the player. At 10 or 15 million for Eddie, I'm not taking that, because I would rather have Eddie here for that kind of money. But it goes. But the whole thing with all of this, and I'll keep saying it, and I don't mean to keep saying it, but I'll keep saying it. Arteta has to play these players. You want to get better at selling players. This is what it takes. They've got to play. They have to play. You have to recognize moments in games and opportunities in the schedule where you can rotate. You have to. if not for the sake of rest and fitness for your best 11, then to put a player on in the shop window to say this guy is available, go make the most out of it, and let's see what kind of offers we get. That's why we're so horrible at selling players, because we tank their value, and then we get lowballed, and it's like, but we're not going to get a better offer for them. So anyway, what were you going to say, Ryan?
Oh, no, I was just saying that we need. I was looking at lineups from towards the end of the season, but we need to sell. There are
I agree.
We need to shred. We have a lot of depth. Is it good depth? That's another question entirely. A player like Reese Nelson wasn't even, and I'm not saying he needs to be on the bench every week for us, but there was another player, I can't think of his name, but reached before. Well, I think even this was even before Timber came back. Reese Nelson wasn't even making the squad. He was because we had so many players. Now with Timber coming back, another player is not going to make the squad. So I really do think that I really think that I want to read James Johnson's comment right now. I think we did it this last week, didn't we? I think it.
Even and I'm going to take it a step further.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is we need to sell. We need to shred kind of like the loose skin. And I think Eddie is that. That's why I'm okay with taking 15 million. We just need to lose guys. I think we have too many.
But
we can't do that with everybody. I'm not saying that, but I think, and I guess this is just an opinion. And for me, if out of the three people we talked about today, if I had to, and that's nothing I actually wanted to bring up, but we really couldn't get to it. I'm going to tie that in too. But out of ESR, Nelson, Eddie, I'm taking the lowest offer from Eddie for Eddie. Like Nelson, I think he injects something in the team that you can maybe keep him around. He's obviously second on that list. But to me, Eddie, I don't. He comes on when we need a goal, and he gets shoehorned in. He changes the whole formation around, which, I mean, at that point when it's 70 minutes and you need a goal, it's like, okay, like the formation usually does go out the window anyway, but he's not good. But I don't think he's good enough for us. So it's like, cool, you're bringing on a goal scorer because you need a goal. Like, I get that logic, but we need someone better.
Yeah.
And I think either we get that someone better, or that someone is going to be a Gabriel Jesus, an Ethan Wanyeri. There are
is going to be that.
Well, I'm just saying. I put it this way: I'd rather see Wanyeri come on than Eddie at this point. I think everybody.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would. I just.
But yeah, and what I was saying.
But here's the other thing though with taking the lowest, like if not taking the lowest offer. I'm going to correct your grammar here for a minute. It's not taking the lowest offer. If the offer is low, but you don't get a better one, you'll take the best of the low ball offers.
Yeah, for Eddie.
Right. Well,
I would keep Reese around if it's really low. I would obviously keep ESR around. But Eddie, though, we need to shred some fat, and I think Eddie, for me, Eddie is the first one to go. Yeah, I just think we need to sell before we. We're already talking about bringing in Calafiore, and we're linked with other players. We need to sell. I think we need to sell more than we need to buy. So
I agree with that as well.
However many players we bring in, we need to sell more than that number. So let's say we bring in 3 players in the transfer window. We need to sell 4. I mean, I would probably
4 or 5.
I would sell probably 5 or 6. But yeah, but it's the number has to be more. And then so Ethan Wanyeri, Lewis Skelly, and Aiden Heaven have been training with the first team. Those are 3 names that we are gonna see in Philly. We're gonna see them in Los Angeles, and I think they're in San Francisco too. They're gonna get a lot of minutes. Arteta, I think Aiden Heaven, someone we haven't talked about, he is now the new Ruel Walters. He's a center back. He can play left back, but he's mainly a center back. He's a tall, athletic Englishman, and I think he's 17. And I like this from Arteta. I think I think we kind of start with Walters a little bit. He's trying to bed in some center backs young and kind of get him acquainted because, having Saliba kind of break the mold because, everyone knows center backs usually come on a little later and they kind of last a little longer. Saliba kind of said, fuck that. I'm good. I'm ready. I'm here now. We kind of took a couple of years with him. Some people think a little too long, but I mean, he's lighting the world on fire right now. And I think he tried to do the same thing with Rue Walters. Granted, I think he tried to also put Rue Walters as a right back and kind of have him invert because he's very athletic and he's decent on the ball. I think Kevin could be his next experiment, his new Walters. So that's something I am going to be curious to look at and watch out for when I'm in Philly. But yeah, Wanyeri I think is Saka back up, and I think he's going to play. And Lewis Skelly, I think he was one that was decent. He was kind of coming on late. He was involved with the first team all season last season or most of the season. So okay, I'm not saying these guys need to be on the bench and need to get minutes in the Premier League. I mean, I'm not, but we need to sell. These players need a pathway, or else they're going to leave, like Cozier Dewberry and someone else that I can't remember. And there's talks that Obi Martin's going to leave, and he's like kind of the next best thing. So we need to sell, and I think, and you could make an argument that it's ran its course with ESR, Reese, and Eddie. For me, it's ran its course with Eddie. Eddie, it's like it's never going to work. Like, don't call, don't fax, don't text. You cheated on me, you're a dirty whore. But I don't know. I obviously always see a path with ESR, but with Reese, yeah, I'm leaning definitely. I think we're gonna sell him, so I'm not even really don't really want to really get into conversation about Reese because I think he's gonna go to West Ham. But yeah, that's a good point, Jackson. We're signing goalies left and right because I don't know when we're going to get Ramsdale Raya back because they're on holiday till they said the 5th. They said 3 weeks. So they'll be back on the 5th. And I don't know how much prep they're going to need for our new season. And they may not play the first game. So that means, okay, cool. Carl Hein, welcome.
Yeah.
He's going to have meaningful minutes. This 18-year-old, I don't even know if he'll be ready. He's 18. He's young as balls. I don't know. Definitely good for the academy. I don't know how much he'll really play a role just in the first team in training. I don't know. And then on top of that, we're still looking at, even after we signed Tommy Sefford, I still think we're looking at like a veteran, the guy from the Wolves. I forgot his name. The guy that we're looking with from the Wolves. I wouldn't be surprised if we signed like a 35-year-old. Just because of Ryan Ramsdale being away, we're gonna need depth at the key position. So that's another thing. I mean, it's a little different than I don't count that really towards the outfield players as far as selling and buying. But with Ryan Ramsdale, I mean, Ramsdale's probably leaving anyway. But even if Ramsdale's coming back, they're both going to be on holiday for the same amount of time. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do. I hope we need him to because our goalie to start the season is going to be Carl Hein.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to think, listen, as someone who plays keeper myself, I'm not trying to downplay saying they don't need as much training as everyone else, but you come back August 5th, get a few, I'm sure we'll play a behind closed doors friendly in between then at least. You would think Raya will be ready. So, but you still need a backup. And there was talk that we signed Carl Hein to send him out on loan, which I thought was going to be the best move, but I don't know how much I trust an 18-year-old keeper to take the reins. So as far as a backup is.
I think that's about it for this one. Wow, we got an hour and 20 minutes in, so not bad. Not bad for not having anything to not bad for not having anything to talk about, right?
There's always stuff to talk about.
Yeah. We will be back hopefully next Wednesday. And we're going to work on a special guest for next Wednesday. Working on it right now as we speak. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully there's actual news to talk about, something tangible that we can sink our teeth into and discuss and
There
have
will
valid
be.
opinions and not just speculate.
Well, I'm
and then
excited to go to
follow-
Philly and watch Arsenal.
Well,
I
and
have to.
but that's 2 weeks. We still have a whole week yet to.
Got to preview. Yeah, preview the preview. Got to
Yeah, we
preview the
can do
Philly
that.
trip.
Preview the preview. I like it.
We can make plans. The chat
One
can tell
more
us where to
once.
go.
Yeah. But yeah, so stay tuned. Hopefully next Wednesday will be the next show, but we will have a show next week for you for sure. We're also working on a little project for a show going forward into the season. Ryan and I had discussed it last week in Jackson, 3-Point Sniper. If you guys aren't following 3-Point Sniper on Twitter, Jackson, put your handle out in the comments so everybody can follow you.
Do it now.
If you're American and you're a college basketball fan and you bet, he is fantastic with betting lines and what to watch and things like
Watch
that.
out for
And
Arkansas State.
that
State
will be the little teaser as far as the new show is concerned. So stay tuned for that, but we'll work out details. But that'll be a show that'll run during the season. But yeah, everybody make sure go and follow Jackson because he is definitely going to be he's going to become a much bigger part of this channel and in what we're doing here as we move forward through the summer and into the season. So make sure you're following him. You guys know where to find us on Twitter. We don't need to put that stuff up anymore. Ryan, you got it. Do you have a last word for anyone?
No, I'm even taking the show that we're talking about out. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for what we are going to bring to the podcasting atmosphere as far as Arsenal, as far as football, and I'm excited. I mean, we have Philly in 2 weeks. I'm excited to see them. You know, we're probably not going to see the best 11 Arsenal have to offer, but it's gonna be a good time. And
I'm not. Here's the thing with the preseason. I'm not even worried about the win. I want to watch.
No,
I want to watch what the kids are doing. Like I'm more interested in the performance than I am the result.
It's funny. So if we were playing Man U, I would say no, I want to win. But it's Liverpool. I don't really. I'm not too concerned. Like I don't care if we want to lose. But if it was like Man U, even I guess you can make an argument for Tottenham or like even Man City. Like
Tottenham would be that team for me. Like I don't care about the performance. Beat them.
Well, no, I care about the performance, but yeah, I like Liverpool. We can get smashed 6-0. And I'd be like, all right, I had fun. I got to see some performances.
Yeah.
But like Man U, it's like no. They don't play friendlies though, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got Philly in 2 weeks. The Arsenal are back in action next Wednesday. We play Bournemouth in LA, and then we play United in LA, and then they come east, and we play Liverpool in Philly. And yeah, if you want to get
from yesterday,
if you want to give the club even more money, you can watch all of the games. But I'm not going to get into promoting all of that because I think that's a bunch of crap. They don't mean anything, and they're going to charge you to watch them. I think it's horseshit, but that's just me.
Games at 10:30 at night. Oof.
It's out west. They're in LA.
Yeah, I know. It's just weird to see Arsenal 10:30 p.m. You're like, what?
But anyway, yeah, that's it for us. Thank you, everybody watching on YouTube. If you're with us on YouTube, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. If you're watching on Twitter, we would greatly appreciate you going to YouTube and dropping a like on the video and subscribe if you are not already. And on YouTube, click the bell icon so that you never, ever, ever miss a show that we are doing. Thank you, everybody, for watching the replay. If you have made it this far with us, we've not bored you to death, hopefully. And same thing, drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a show. We are 1 week, ladies and gentlemen, away from the Arsenal returning to game action. Despite the games not having any point value or anything like that, it is always exciting to watch the preseason and see what youngsters are going to maybe make a breakthrough. So we've given you some names to watch. So if you do watch on TV, or if you're going to be there, there you go. Check that out. So once again, just thank you, everyone, for watching. We greatly appreciate the support, guys. It's been good footy talk. We'll see you out there.